Absolutely. Welcome everyone for our weekly membership updates live. You're on with myself, George Snipes, Field Director with the Atlanta Area Council, and new member coordinator, Bert Bender. Excited to have everyone on tonight. Please use the chat throughout the time. I will try to gracefully cut in if appropriate to ask questions, but we'll definitely catch up at the end with any questions you have about the content tonight or about membership, being a new member coordinator, or be a scout in general. Look forward to hearing from you. Just feel free to drop any questions you have in the chat.
All right. George, I'll take this on, and if you want to interrupt at any time, since you'll see the chat, I won't. The Facebook ads indicated this would be about how to handle online applications, including some live demos of setup and revision of your Be a Scout and online application pages, which of course, anytime we're doing a Be a Scout demo, we are taking a major risk. It is a high wire act. We hope we don't get the spinning wheel of death as we look at my.scouting. So we'll look at how to create the automatic emails that will come when you interact with people who are signing up or inquiring about your units, and how to take and accept and maybe sometimes unfortunately reject applications. And then some tips about the need to follow up with parents, because when they apply, they're going to hear from the national program and from the Atlanta Area Council, and they'll get any automatic welcome email that you create. So let's dive in, and let's start with a little bit of what people see when they are looking for a pack out in the wild blue. We're going to look first at Be a Scout sites, which is basically what anybody can see if they enter into their search engine, show scouting near me. So I'm going to put up two examples. Here's one that has some information. We know it's a pack. There's an address that I've blacked out here. We know it's only boys, and they do have online registration, so that's good. However, you might look at that and go, that's not telling me much. Here's one doing a lot better. There's a person to contact. My goodness, there's a Facebook page they can go to and see scouts in action and maybe get the latest updates on what's going on. So that is going to be a real benefit for a unit. You might want to update a little bit, because right now it says they're meeting Tuesday evenings at 7. Maybe they are, maybe they're not. And we'll get to that in a second. So let's look at how to update. And I'm going to play guinea pig here with a Be a Scout page that is one of the units that I'm involved with. And let's see, where has it fallen to? Let me see. Nope, that's just the main page. There it is, the dashboard. Let me back out of this, and hopefully we will find it now. So here's the my.scouting dashboard. To get to how to update the Be a Scout pin and other information for pack 631, I'm dropping down to that pack, and I'm going to go to what's called Organization Manager, which has some settings. Anybody who's a Key 3 or a Key 3 delegate can go in and update these settings, and you want to make sure that you have input the settings you want to have. For example, on this page, this gives you the opportunity to determine who approves adult applications. Do you want the charter org rep only, or the committee chair and charter org rep both to approve? P.S. In the last few weeks, they've added a tool where a chartered org rep can have a COR delegee who will sign off on behalf of the chartered org rep. So in some PACs, you may actually work it out so that the committee chair says, I can save you a step, delegate me your sign-off right, and I won't need to bother you every time we have an adult application. Hopefully you'll have adult applications. To have that, you want to be sure you check the box that says allow adult applications. And you also want to check the box that describes what kind of PAC you have. There's no harm in saying both boys and girls if you want to invite both boys and girls right now, if your chartered org is okay with it. If you don't have the unit leadership in place to handle girls, you just may need to make that clear anytime you have a family of a girl sign up and see if, oh, I don't know, maybe the girl's parents want to be leaders. And that way you could actually get the leadership you need. Now let's look at what the unit pin will look like. We'll go back to settings in a bit. And oh, the spinning wheel of death has ended, thank goodness. This will show what will appear out on your Be a Scouting pin, like those two examples I showed. You want to be sure that you are appearing on Be a Scout. You want to be sure you're allowing people to apply online. You want to have contact information. If you want to change it, you can do an edit if you're a Key 3 leader or a Key 3 delegee. If you have a unit website, put it up there. Don't have a website, have a Facebook page, put it up there. Because that way people can browse and see maybe more about your PAC, what your schedule is, and get an opportunity to decide whether or not this looks like a good fit for them. But wait, there's more. There's the opportunity to plug in additional unit information and update that so that the people who are coming to you can find out what your program is. I'm going to go ahead just for now, just to show how easy it is to edit. I moved our physical distancing note up to the top here because our chartered organization is definitely not allowing on-campus extracurricular activities for at least the next month and a half. So we will go with what's some of you know of as Scouting on Demand as a way for families to get things done, guided by their den leaders and PAC leaders. You can add other information like where you meet, if you meet, or where your chartered organization is. And also on this page, critical to evaluate what's over here on this side where it says fields to display on the unit pin. So you've got to turn these on or off, like where you meet, a contact person's name, number, email, website, additional information, if you want it to appear on your Be a Scout page. All of that is great to have, but if for some reason you don't want to have your phone number out there, you can turn that off and just let people contact you by email if you like. So let's look at the other part of setting up for online registration that's found in settings. And we saw some of those up top where the spinning wheel is. There's two other options where you can create settings. And one of them is to explain your fee deal. Anybody who signs up online is going to be paying, roughly this month, what is it, like $52 to register with the BSA for the rest of the year. So every PAC will probably want to have something that they write that will explain what the rest of the money is so that people aren't shocked and appalled when you actually ask to collect money for whatever you collect for. So here, this PAC has an additional $130 that gets paid, and it describes what that money goes for. It's other dues for other costs over the program year, including next year's registration, Boys Life subscription. They pay leader costs out of this, Cub handbooks, certain patches, recognition, PAC t-shirts, Pinewood Derby kits, trophies, blue and gold banquet, and more. And there's more information about that on the website. So somebody who is getting an invitation can see that, yeah, it's not just $50, it's going to be 50 plus 130 for participating in the PAC. The other email you can create is a welcome email so that if somebody submits an application, they're going to get an email saying, thanks for your interest. You'll be hearing a lot more from us, but you can give in that email, once again, information about your website or who to contact so that parents are getting not just the national email, not just the council email, but also an email that is immediately coming from somebody with the PAC so that families can see that the PAC has identified them and you're on their radar. Any questions have popped up so far, George?
Not yet.
All right, I will tell you that because, you can click some sample emails when you are on your organization manager page on my.scouting, but some of them are a little less than you probably want to have. For example, the fees version, you can plug in the number and the sample email basically says that you'll get a t-shirt. So it's like getting an email saying, I paid PAC dues and all I got was this lousy t-shirt. Now your t-shirt looks great, I am sure, I am positive, but since most PACs that have t-shirts are probably doing a lot more, you might want to add more. So what we've done in the Atlanta Area Council is on our page about the Be a Scout pin and online registration, we've created at the bottom, we've got a download of text that you could use and edit as you like. And it's text that's in a Word document to make it that much easier for you so that you can write in, what your deal is about fees. We've got a couple different options there. We've also got text for examples of what you can put in a welcome email, tips about, making sure you put in a name of a person, contact information, and website if possible. This also has some information about what you might put on your unit pin blurb on my.scouting, the additional information, so that you talk about like where you meet and what you do, what your program highlights are. I mean, if you're a fishing PAC, go for it, pitch it. We also have some suggested language about parent participation and COVID concerns, so that since that's going to be a hot issue this year, you can actually put that right up front. That's going to let parents who are concerned about scouting know these people are taking it safely. So, any questions yet? That I'm going to.
And I wanted to jump in. Did you have on your list to share about National's prize program with Be a Scout?
Tell us all about it.
So for those of you that don't know and haven't been as active on Facebook, National's actually doing a drawing for a free $500 gift card to the Scout Shop for any unit that updates their Be a Scout pin. I believe it's between now and September 30th. And they're going to do one $500 gift card for everyone that edits their pins, and then 5 separate $100 gift cards in addition. So 6 total prizes, if you will, for folks that update their Be a Scout pin. So if you need that extra encouragement or you want to share that with some of the units that you work with, I just think it's just a great way to share some excitement about making sure your pins are updated.
All right, let's get a winner. So now I'm going to take a dive back into the My Scouting page and look at some of the things that can happen once you've set up your pin, once you've set up your online registration, once you've got your emails ready to go. And we're going to look at something called Invitation Manager, because if somebody is out there looking at your site on Be a Scout and they click the link that says, tell me more, or send further information, it's going to land as a lead down here in what's called Invitation Manager. So I did a couple test contacts today, and one of the things that I found as I looked into it was, here I have applied. I have applied about my son whose name is Test Case. Test is a great kid. God love him. And the person who is contacted said, can you tell me about your pack? Okay. If you click respond to lead, my.scouting will actually generate an email, and I will pull it up here to show you that it really did. And it's sending me this note. Thank you for inquiring about Pack 631. Dear Bert Bender, thank you for inquiring. The question comment you're submitted, I guess they could work on that, is, can you tell me about your pack? I will try to supply the requested information below. Please let me know if you have further concerns. So a couple things. Number one, edit to change the word your to you. And secondly, try to answer the question as best you can. But this makes it easy for you to, not have to cut and paste what their question was, what their comment was. You can use this as an opportunity to answer it directly, send them to a website, copy somebody else if you want to. So I'm going to copy George, and I'm going to say our membership chair, George, will be the one who will answer this question. There's, you have the ability to take the bare bones of this and go ahead and get back in touch with that person faster than you would otherwise. Let's look at some other things that this can do as you have the opportunity to contact. I could, and I did actually today, send an application. If I click this, it's actually saying sending in process, invitation sent successfully. And what will happen then is an email will appear that will, let me pull up the version that I got earlier today. An email will automatically generate that includes the tailored information that we put into my.scouting about what our fees are. So this email's popped out to me. We're excited you're interested in building an adventure with Pack 0631. It's going to describe what the charges are for annual national membership. Then it says the unit has additional fees. And here is where the additional language comes in that you can write into Organization Manager in my.scouting. So this is the way it will appear when a parent gets an email, and because you've clicked send application, then the parent can click here, create a my.scouting profile, and begin the application process. Now, that's one tool of Information Manager. So it is a tool that you can use to respond to inquiries that come to you. You can also use it as a tool to send applications to people. So to show you how to do that, I'm going to go back to that page. Where are you, my page? And we're going to step back to Invitation Manager. It says, enter new lead. Now, quick warning, since it says, it's called Invitation Manager when you access this, you'll think, oh, I could send this to someone with a carefully crafted invitation that says, let me tell you about scouting and our pack and the fun things we do, and try to convince you to come to our sign-up night and join Cub Scouting. Technically, that's not what this tool is for. This tool is for after you've done that, after they've agreed that they would come to the sign-up night, when you're about to close the sale. And this is a super tool for your sign-up events, because if I have, for example, George and my other key 3 delegates entering information from people who are on the Zoom sign-up or physically present at the sign-up, they can be entering new leads. And the my.scouting tool will ask you for basically 4 things. Number 1, what's your lead source? So we'll say it's joining night. Who's the parent? What's their phone number? What's their email address? This auto-filled for me, but all you need is name, email address, and phone number, and you can, bang, send them an application. Technically, they'll get the same email that I got when somebody asked about the program. And they'll have the opportunity to fill out the application, or maybe they'll reach out to you for more questions because it'll have information about who to contact for questions. And you can set these up, and instead of sending the application right away, you can save and add another and another and another and another. You might even save them in advance and just see who shows up to your sign up event, and then send them out, so you're not trying to enter them all in real time at a sign up event. So that's Invitation Manager. And that can be a real benefit to get those applications onto people's phones when you're doing a sign up event. Any questions yet?
Nope. I really like the leads note feature. I think it's really good for collaborating between Cub Masters and membership chairs and district professionals, so we can write those notes on the side as we work with families.
Yeah, let me pop back into that a second to point out where that is. And that would be, so like here I am, I have got my lead. Information could be written here. And so I could say, sent a third app, since I've now sent myself 3 apps today. And when that posts, if there's another key 3 person who's looking at what's happening with this lead, they'll know, yeah, Bert's got 3 apps. We don't need to send any more right now. But if they don't see that there's been any action, they can say, yeah, we may need to do some work on this one. So let's assume now you have the app in your inbox. I'm now going to go to the PowerPoint that is up on the website that we showed before, because I don't have a live application in my queue, but I do have some images that we can pop up on the screen. But to get there, let me scroll through, because a lot of what's on this PowerPoint is what I've just shown as live. So when somebody gets an application, they can get it multiple ways. They can get it by just hitting the Apply Now button on Be a Scout, or you might circulate by email or text the URL that generates out of Invitation Manager, or the QR code that generates out of Invitation Manager. P.S. This is a good thing to put on flyers and put on signs, because if somebody sees your sign and sees the QR code, says, yes, we really do want Cub Scouting, they can just hit on that and apply right away. So a family would have to start by going into My.Scouting. They have to set up an account. They would have to indicate whether or not they are applying as a youth or an adult, and as a current or a former scout. A quick note here for those who follow membership issues. Bad news and good news about transfers, like transfers from a pack to a troop. The bad news is there is yet no online transfer application process. The good news is there is an online multiple application process where you could join 2 units at one time. So frankly, even though that will mean that somebody is still lagging back on the pack roster for the fall until recharter is done, that would be a simpler way to have a no cost, no contact application go from a pack to a troop, because you're signing up your youth as a former scout, putting in their BSA number and joining the troop. So that's new for this year. They say that by next year we will have transfers, so that will be even cleaner. parents have to fill out some information. They'll have a guardian page where you'll get data, so you'll get more information from them. They have to accept the terms and conditions of being in the BSA. And then they check out, and this is so cute. They signed up for the rest of the year last year with $16.50. I would assume they were signing up in December. Sorry about that. Payment is by credit card only. There's no more chasing money. I don't think we've done that using our application process, but once you get an application submitted that way, you've got a couple ways to find out about it. If you're a Key 3 leader, you should get emails twice a week if you have anything in your inbox in My.Scouting in Application Manager that says, hey, go look in Application Manager in your pack, you've got mail. And it will say pending, applicant agreement or pending response, whatever. It'll give you an opportunity, if it's ready for you to accept, to bring it in. The other way you can do that is especially if you have an eager helper who's a registered leader and is willing to be a Key 3 delegate or I think it's called registration inquiry person. They can go in daily if they want to, look for applications that need to be processed, and then ping whoever on the Key 3 team has the greatest ability to accept new members, because you don't want people waiting and waiting, even if it's just a few days. The sooner they hear from you and the sooner you show them that welcoming love, the better. So basically, acting on a youth application, you'll see, there may be notes like George was mentioning, we saw just in the invitation section. It may be as easy as look at the information, be sure it's complete, and then hit accept. Down here at the bottom of the application page, at which point they're going to get hit by the national, then the council, and the unit emails that say, welcome to our program, welcome to our council, welcome to our pack. So once that happens, it's good for a Key 3 leader to then go back to your eager new member coordinator in your unit to say, maybe give them a call now just to be sure, because they're inundated with these emails and we want to be sure that they don't get lost. That's a great time for you to also say things like, here's the deal on uniforms. We're in above the waist pack because, hello, it's Zoom. We're not wearing scout pants anymore. We're just wearing the shorts we were wearing all day. And nobody's going to know the difference. And also some packs, and frankly ours, have always said that, just because scouting is expensive, more expensive now. And if kids are wearing a blue or khaki shirt, God bless. When they get more into it, they'll get more uniform bits. We see it time and time again, and we don't want to turn anyone away because they're freaked out about the cost of getting kitted out. So that's accepting a youth application. Adult application is similar, but it'll have a little more information, and you really do need to take a harder look at it because it'll have background information, and it may have things that pop up on the questions, because if you remember your adult application, it's going to have things like, have you ever been asked to leave an organization because of personal conduct allegations? Do you use illegal drugs or abuse alcohol, etc.? And if somebody has answered yes, that means you're going to have a conversation with them. It doesn't automatically disqualify them, and if you're not sure, you can work with through your district executive and get help from the Atlanta Area Council, because a lot of people have history and a lot of people have become better people from having learned from their history. And folks like Jason Baldridge and your district executives can help you through that. But assuming everything checks out, then you would see the information. If you want, you're going to call references if you don't already know them. And you will have the same opportunity to accept. You could put do not accept, and then you probably want to reach out if it's somebody that you really think shouldn't be in any unit. Check with your DE and explain why, because that may want to be a block overall. And that's good information. You know, it can be vetted. We want to be safe. Could also be that you have to reassign it because they made a mistake and didn't, they've signed up with the wrong unit. I have that time and time again with our two troops at Woodward, because I'll have girls sign up in the boys troop and I have to then redirect that to get them in the correct troop. So who can accept applications, adult applications? It's required that a chartered org accept. As an option, you can also have the committee chair accept. It's good to have committee chair involvement. If the chartered org person doesn't really know the PAC families and PAC leadership as well, which is sometimes the case where they're trusting the volunteer leaders. And then as mentioned, you can have a COR delegate to approve for the COR if you'd like. Now, there's also a screen that should pop up, and I say should because I've signed off on many applications and I haven't seen this, so I'm tracking for it. It should tell you what position, give you an option to select what position you're putting somebody in. And I say this because I just approved a new chartered org rep for our PAC, and this didn't pop up. And I fear that what's happened is because we have a chartered org rep who's done it for 30 years, it says, no, he can't leave. So anyway, I'm going to see how that goes, hopefully overnight, because Mark has told me he is submitting his other two applications tonight. So that's how the system works. There are other screens here, and I will end by saying that both on the Atlanta Area Council page about Be a Scout Pin and online registration, and on this page, which is linked on that Atlanta Area Council page, there's actually a pretty decent new version of what's called the unit guidebook that will walk you through a lot of the issues, especially if you get thorny issues like what to do about an application you have questions about that you think you need to kick back, and some more granular things about reports and data and so on that especially large PACs might want to play with in order to more efficiently handle what I hope for all of you will be a tsunami of new families joining you. This is not to suggest that I want tsunamis in the world. We're lucky that it turns out it's only one hurricane coming this week, and we still have the fires out west. So no tsunamis, except if it's tsunamis of new families joining Cub Scouting. And with that, I yield my time to George.
That's awesome. Well, don't put the screen share too far away. We did have a question. Where can a PAC find their QR code? Because those are specific to the unit, right?
That is correct. It is your own QR code. And let me see if, oh, here we go. So here is, I'm going to go all the way back to the spinning wheel of loading scripts menu. Going to scroll down to our PAC. Going to go to Invitation Manager. And there is an invitation QR and an invitation link. And if you click on download QR code, it basically is downloading it as an image that you can then print. If you're going to copy this URL, it's going to copy it to your clipboard so you can put it in an email, and that's where those codes are located. Technically, you can create a QR code for any website page for that matter. You just have to look at, it's basically a QR app. I don't have one handy, but if you just Google, how can I make a QR? The interwebs will tell you.
There you go. Well, this was really helpful, and thank you to everybody for coming on the call tonight. This is something to where this is the way we're recruiting scouts this fall. We're going to have a few in-person gatherings that are small and have some applications, but if we're not prepared to welcome new families through the invitation manager and through the application manager, we're really missing the boat. So I just encourage you to take some time, update your Be a Scout pin, enter you to win a $500 gift card from National, which is awesome. And then also just make sure that we're ready to review those inquiries, review those applications, and accept those new youth into our program. So, and we're going to get this set up on record so you can share this with the other packs and troops that you work with.
And let me mention one other thing that's really super important about updating your My.Scouting profile when you're in Organization Manager. You can do a whole lot when you're looking at the screen. And let me share again. And you can make progress, you can click buttons, you can write emails, and you have to always be sure that you go to the bottom where it says save. Otherwise, it's all a waste. You will, if you now log out, you will not have saved your work. In fact, when I checked in earlier today, I realized I messed up. I did not save my work last time. So same thing goes with your unit PIN. You want to be sure that when you have entered your fabulous story of your unit information, that you go down here and click save, because if you don't, it won't. So I'm going to make an edit here, and that should activate save. So if you've made any edit, save is going to come to life. And if you don't click save, it won't make the change.
And I'd be remiss if we didn't add, as you're working in here, if you find a true technical glitch, some of you may have had a phone number for what's called member care. So a call center operated by National that helped with technical issues, among other things. That's no longer actually available to volunteers as part of some of the restructuring at National, but our program center has almost every right that they need to make changes and adjustments via scout.org and My.Scouting. So if your meeting location is wrong and is not saving, that's probably one of the most common ones that I've heard, or something like that, something technical. Feel free to reach out to our program center. They can absolutely help fix that. If it's an understanding thing, feel free to reach out to Bert, to your district executive. We'd be glad to help make sure that you are ready to go to recruit new families.
All righty. Thank you all for being out here tonight. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your evening and or your troop or pack or den events that you're now going to.
All right. And we'll see everybody back next week. And I did not queue up the title. Do you have that handy?
I think we're gonna talk about how important it is to do orientations with new parents and share information about how you operate, you know, not just ideally if we didn't have a pandemic, but how you're going to operate in these new times and ways to communicate that effectively. So it'll be it'll be all the stuff you don't actually say at a sign-up event, but that you want parents to know about how your den and pack operate.
All right. We'll see everybody back next week, same time, same place. Have a great night.